Okay, so we are live. Well, anyway, a very good evening to all the people gathered here. So it's a very good opportunity and it's a very good initiative that I thought that the Alumni Association of Linguistics, Assam University, Silchar, we are having this students presentation series. So let me mute. Yeah, no. So without wasting any more time, now I would like to request and invite our respected head of the department, Professor K.S. Dhiren Singha, to kindly chair the first session. Yes, as an announcement to be made, today we have two sessions. In the first session, we have 3 presenters, and in the second session, we have 2 presenters, and the second session will be chaired by Dr. D. Mary Kim Haukiv. So to start and to introduce the first session, now I would like to request Professor K.S. Dhiren Singha. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bijan. And good evening, everyone. It's really gives me that, our research scholars and our students, so they'll be presenting their, paper, and in fact, it's a very, very, informal in real sense. Okay, so I should say that it's a very informal kind of, presentations, but though it is a formal, okay. Why I'm just telling you that, okay, so everyone can, everyone can participate, everyone can, join, okay, and everyone can, ask questions freely without any hesitations. Though I'm just sharing the session, it's not, a matter of concern that, okay, I should, so I should, handle, okay, all the issues relating to the, topic of these 3 presenters. And I just from the beginning, I just mentioned you that, so everyone is welcome, to participate, or, okay, to discuss the matters, we have placed today, okay, in terms of the presentation. I think so. The first presenter is Jonali, right? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jonali, okay. So I just I invite Jonali to present the paper. Jonali, please.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay. Is my slide is visible?
Yes, yes, yeah. You please go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all. Today, I will give the presentation on number in Chakma. This is the outline of the study. I will discuss the Chakma, an overview, then methodology, number in Chakma, pluralization by suffixing, use of quantifiers, then conclusion and references.
Jonali, can you make the screen in full screen mode?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, it's fine. Yes.
Chakma, alternate name Chak, Dainak, Thek, Chak, is an indigenous ethno-linguistic group mostly found in Chittagong hill tracts of Bangladesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, and West Bengal of India, and in some parts of Burma. Here you can see the map also India, Bangladesh, and Myanmar, where the language is spoken. You can see the numbers in the map. Here I have a table where I have given the numbers as the state, district, and province. You can see in the table. And here also I have given the map of Arunachal Pradesh. I have highlighted the district of Arunachal Pradesh, the Papumpara, Lohit, Sanglang. Here you can see I have collected data from Papumpara district of Arunachal Pradesh, but in the three districts, the language is spoken. Chakma script is known as Ojapat. Chakma, I have already mentioned, it has alternate names Chak, Dainak, Thek, and Chak, mostly found in Chittagong hill tracts of Bangladesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, and West Bengal of India, and in some parts of Burma. The Chakma people are Mongoloid by race, and they have resemblance with the Tibeto-Burman group, but they speak a kind of Indo-Aryan language closely related to Bengali and Assamese due to the aerial contact with these languages, which they call it as Chakma. According to 2011 census of India, the population is 2,26,860. The Chakma are multilingual people primarily with the knowledge of Bengali, Hindi, English, Assamese, and other regional languages. Methodology. Data for the present study was collected from Papumpara district of Arunachal Pradesh. The interview method was used to collect data. The speakers of Chakma were interviewed and recorded for the necessary data. The devices used during the fieldwork were a recorder and a phone. Number in Chakma. Chakma has a binary number system, singular and plural. The Chakma singularity is marked, the plurality is marked. The singular forms of nouns are always identical with their root form. Plural forms are realized in two different ways, by the morphological process of suffixation using quantifiers. First of all, I would like to discuss the process of suffixation. In Chakma, the plural numbers are formed by adding suffixes such as tun, gun, kun, un, and ani in Chakma. The suffixes tun is used after the ta sound of for plurality. Here you can see the examples. Morot. The ta sound is there in morot. So here we have morot tun, which means boys. At means elephant. At tun means elephant. This plurality after the voice vowel sounds. Here you can see example. Mile, migun, girl, girls. Huro means hand, hurogun means hands. Hoba means crow, hobagun means cross. The suffix kun is also used to pluralize nouns, but it is restricted to few words. For example, mok means wife, mok could mean wives. Magoro means spider. Magoro kun means spiders. Bag means tiger. Bag kun means tigers. The plural morpheme. The plural morpheme un is more productive in Chakma language, and the plural morphemes un and ani is used after the vowel sounds and the raw sound. Here you can see the examples. Boy means book, boy un means books. Gas means tree, gas un means trees. Hugur means dog, hugur un means dogs. Glass un means glasses. Bille means cat. Leun means cats. Likewise, is used to realize the nouns. Gor means house. Gor ani means houses. Khabor means khabor ani means clothes. And pot means roll, and pot ani means roads. Plurality is also expressed by the use of quantifiers before and after the head nouns. In this case, the head nouns do not take any plural morphemes. Here you can see the quantifiers ekkur. Ekkur means many. Here I have the example mach. Mach means fish. Ekkur mach means many fish. Puk means insect. Ekkur puk means many insects. Guro means child. Ekkur guro means many children. Mach means people. Sorry, manuch means people. Ekkur manuch means many people. Likewise, we have pal, which means fog, herd, and group of. The examples: pack means bird, pekko pal means flock of birds, guru means cow, guru pal means herd of cows, manus means people, manucho pal means group of people. Dagi is also used only for uncle and aunt to pluralize. Here you can see the example: haka means uncle and haka dagi means uncles. Haki means aunt, haki dagi means aunties. Sagar means a lot of. Here you can see the examples: era means meat, sagar era means a lot of meats. Hair means hay, Bekun boy means all the books. Personal pronoun. In Chakma, most of the personal pronouns plurality are expressed with the help of new morphemes. The expression of plurality in Chakma is shown in the table. You can see mui means ami, mui means I, ami means we. Te means he, she, it, tara means they. Object pronoun. In Chakma, the object pronoun are derived from the subject pronoun. The most interesting fact there is that the form C is used for third person, which is not derived from the subject pronoun. Here, bo morpheme means singularity and go gun form is used for plural. You can see more means me, amare means us, tore means you, tumare means you in the plural form. Sibare means him or her, sigunore means them. Here you can see the singularity is used by adding bo form, and gun is used to pluralize the third person plural form sigunore. Demonstrative pronoun. In Chakma, the E forms refers the nearer thing or place, and U forms refers the distance. Here also the bo form shows singularity and gun shows plurality. Ibe means this, igun means these, ubu means that, ugun means those. Reduplication of interrogative pronouns. Reduplication of interrogative pronouns in Chakma expresses plurality. You can see the examples in the table. Hona means who, hona means who all. He means what, he means what all. Hono means which, hono means which all. Hudu means where, hudu means where all. I would like to conclude my presentation that, like many other Indo-Aryan languages, Chakma also has two numbers, singular and plural. Morphologically, the singular form of noun is unmarked and plurality is expressed by suffixing and by the use of quantifiers. In Chakma, the plural numbers are formed by suffixes such as tun, gun, kun, un, and ani. In Chakma, bo form shows singularity and gun shows plurality in the pronouns. In Chakma, plurality is also expressed by using quantifiers such as ekur, pal, daki, sagar, and bekun. The suffixes tun is used after to sound and gun is used after voiced vowel sounds for plurality. The suffixes un and ani are used after the vowels and the raw sound to pluralize the things. Reduplication of interrogative pronouns in Chakma expresses plurality. These are the references. There are some snapshots of data collection and recording. Thank you.
Thank you, Janali, for your wonderful presentation. And I would like to tell you that, we can discuss the papers one by one. So, okay, I would like to invite questions, suggestions, and comments for the journalist paper. And paper is open for discussion. If anybody has questions, comments, or clarification, so you can directly ask to the presenter.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Jonali, congratulations. It was a very, well elaborated papers on the number in Chakma. I don't have much, comments, even though I was just wondering in the gun, the suffix gun, you just mentioned that it is used with the voice vowels. Okay, the plurality is used. This gun marker is used with the voice vowels. So I was just intrigued to know that is there any voiceless vowels also in this language? Jonali, are you following my my questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, but till now I don't have any data about voiceless vowel.
Oh, yeah. In that case, I think instead of using voice, that is just my personal opinion, because vowel sounds are, we can say that they're voice sounds already. So when you use the term voice, then it gives an impression that it means a chances of existence of a voiceless vowels also. Means when you say vowels, simply vowels, I think that makes a sense here. That's one observation. Okay.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
And in the reduplication, I think you can check for nouns as well. Okay, like black clothes type, and then red flower, this kind of thing. Whether is it possible when you repeat these nouns, can it give the meaning of plurality also in the language?
I have to see, sir.
Yeah, here you are, yes, in the interrogative pronoun, you have shown with a very good data, but my suggestion is just check it out, the same feature in the noun as well, okay? Maybe in adjective as well, like red flowers, where this red repeating can give the meaning of plurality, because in some TV languages, this is also a kind of, plural marking.
Okay, so sure, I will look into it.
Yeah, Jonali,
yeah, please.
Sir, please go ahead, then I'll ask after you. Okay, generally your example in the pronouns, you have this sigunare. Can you please go to that slide?
Yes.
So, how is it that the gun is coming, how is it infixed in the word? Is it also functioning as an infix in this language? You mean to say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it an infix, or is it undergoing a morphophonemic change? Or I just want to know, you have given sibare as third person singular, right? Sibare.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So are they two morphemes? As in, like, there's si and then there's bare. Is bare a suffix?
No, here re marker is also present in first person and second person. You can see more, tore. Here is also sibare. So
siba is the root and re is the human. You mean to say the human classification, right? Re.
yes.
Pronominal or human classification. So that means what I'm seeing is the gun is occurring before re, right? So there is something happening here which you have to see.
Sure, ma'am. I will look into it.
Yeah, maybe it is a siba gun re becoming siguno re. Just see how, because I don't see infixation in your data, but this looks quite interesting to me. Enjoy your audio, please mute yourself.
I have muted him.
Okay. And that example that you have given of the Just after the vowel sounds, that slide, there were some examples. Can you go back to that slide? No, not this one. Where you had gun, right? Yeah. So this kun, you're saying it is restricted to few words, but the words that you have are all, having velar stops. So is it also occurring with other consonant sounds other than kaga?
Ma'am, I have to look on it because this is not the final findings.
Okay.
In future, I will look on it.
Yeah, you please see if kun is occurring, if the consonant before un, it becomes ka because of the velar plosives occurring with it. But what is interesting is mok is mokun, fine, but then bag is not bagun but bakun. Now that is something interesting. Same thing for magoro, it should have been gun, but it is magoro kun. Anyway, you please cross-check your data, and yeah, I hope you'll come to more.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Just an supplement, okay, to Dr. Monali's comment. What I also observe is that it's a very, systematic kind of paradigm that we are able to see. Even in tune also, I think tune is occur with the words which end with the ta sound, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Here again in the kun also with the velar sound, na, ka and ga, it follows with the kun again. So there is something that you can check it out. Maybe this one in the kun. See na mok, then it's coming kun. Then yeah, magoro to it's different, but again in the bak it's coming again the same voiceless velar kun. That is what I observe. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like kun is the plural suffix, but it looks like it is morphophonemic depending on the environment in which it occurs. It takes the ga or ka or ta. But you have to check again. I mean, we don't know.
Okay, I'm sure. I will check.
Thank you, Bijan and Monali, for your comments, but for your question. And anybody has question, or comments or suggestions?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, please carry on time.
Yeah. Not exactly a question, but just want to give few comments. Very interesting paper. Now, one thing you have mentioned in the beginning, say in the classification of Chakma, you have mentioned that they speak a kind of Indo-Aryan language, right? So I think it would be very good. It would be better if you can be very specific about that, whether it's a Tibeto-Burman or Indo-Aryan. You try to find out in literatures. If it is not there, you work in the language, and you can come up with your claim that this language belongs to Indo-Aryan or Tibeto-Burman with your findings. Okay, Jonali.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, I did not mention about Gerson. Actually, Gerson already mentioned that the Chakma language is a broken dialect of Bengali.
Okay. So this is very interesting. Chakma.
Yeah.
I mean, the language is very interesting, as in how it has. How a broken language has become,
Very separate language.
Spoken by some quite a good number of population.
Yes,
and
sir.
in different places, right?
Yes,
so we cannot just take one language as a broken language of another language. So you try to do some research on that, and you come up with some specific classification. Are there any other classifications on Chakma in recent linguistic work? Have you checked on that?
Sir. No, sir.
Okay. Okay, you check on that. Why I'm saying it's interesting because one may claim that it is Indo-Aryan language, but there are certain features that are very similar with Tibeto-Burman languages as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, something like plural marker and all this thing. So this would be a very interesting research topic, and you do well. And I want to wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Daima, for your suggestion, comments, and any more question? Anybody has question?
Yeah,
Because
I
we
have
okay.
I have a few observations.
Okay.
Very similar to what Kailat and Birjan has said. All vowels I think are voiced, so no need to mention that is a voiced vowel. And as Kailat said, you always describe about the language is a kind of Indo-Aryan. So as a researcher, if you want to quote Grayson, you can quote. Otherwise, in your findings, if you think that it's an Indo-Aryan language, you can go ahead and quote it in your Indo-Aryan. But from the way you describe it, it looks like you are not very sure, or you have a feeling that it was not an Indo-Aryan language, it was a Tibeto-Burman language, and later on maybe they have shifted, or they have borrowed, or they have kind of shared many features of Indo-Aryan. That's why it's called Indo-Aryan, because you keep telling that it's a kind of Indo-Aryan. That's not very specific, so keep that in mind. And if we look at the data, I think there are more that needs to be discussed. You have given only a few examples. Please check with words ending with other consonants also, and check, maybe you will have words, open syllable, as well as, nouns with open syllable, with closed syllable, with different coda consonants. And maybe there will be more to that. And there may be this numbering, like the marking of numbers seems to be very interesting, which is unlike any other languages. When we look at other languages, it's based on other things, maybe gender or size or shape. But here it's like there is so much of phonology involved. So there is a lot of phonological processes happening in this numbering system. So my suggestion is that you collect more data, and then I think you will come up with a better analysis. Having said that, given the limited time, you have come up with a very good presentation. So I congratulate you on that. And going forward, please look at different data set, and then I think your analysis may improve, or may in fact it may even change also. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am, for your suggestion. I will take it in future, and I will edit to the paper.
Thank you, Dr. Mary Kim, for your wonderful suggestion. And it's a very nice comment. And any more question now? I think so. We have time constraint. So and only one question, maybe taken off. Please, okay. Anybody has question? Only one question, because we have time constraint. If anybody has question. Okay, so if there is no question, we can just move for the second speaker. Or should I speak something? Okay. Anyway, just only very few, very few, what to say, comments, not exactly comments. I want to, address, Bijan, then, Monali. Dr. Bijan and Dr. Monali has, pointed out that the voice vowel sounds, and is a very important issue, because if the language doesn't have the voiceless vowels, I feel that I should agree with the vision and Dr. Manali. You can just say generally vowel sounds only instead of voice vowel sounds. If you say voice vowel sounds, it seems that there is voiceless vowels in that particular language. So you please, simply you can say the vowel sounds, and quickly what I observe is that, your this pluralization of, this pronoun like this tore, sorry, this more, me, then amare, us. Something like then tore, you, and tomare, you all. I think that this is some kind of oblique form, but I'm not quite sure, but we have to study. And in similar way here, this, where is the one? He. Yeah. So, you have to look, this particular forms of the, forms of pluralization. And one more thing, okay, I have to, just mention you where this kun, yeah, kun and gun. These two, kun and gun, these two plural markers, and you have to carefully examine these two, plural markers, kun and gun, where this kun occurs and where this gun occurs. But sometimes, this kun occurs with the voiceless sounds, and sometimes this kun occurs with the vowels, and sometimes this kun occurs with the voice consonants. So I think so. In this particular case, there is no consistency in terms of phonology. So you can just, you can check other issues like, the social issues, or the, what are the other morphological, issues relating to the, relating to this particular, plural markers. And what Daimai was talking about, this Sakma as TB language or the Indorant. I have to tell that, this Mary Kim also pointing out briefly. So once Sakma people, they had their own language. And I have to say that, Chakma is the Mongoloid tribe, and they must speak the Tibeto-Roman language, by variety. But, due to influence of the Bengali language, and they might have shifted their language towards Bengali. That is, their mother tongue has already extinct, or okay, their mother tongue is already, so lost, because of the order, due to, heavily influenced by the, Indorant languages, because they had long language contact with the Indorant people there in Chittagong. And whatever may be, what I find is that, because of some complexity, I have to say that, these languages, sorry, this language Chakma, might have retained the typical feature of TB languages, though they have, shifted towards the Indorant. So resulting that, some kind of complexity in terms of the, pluralization, or in terms of, what to say, plurality, something like what I have mentioned, that this kun, gun, etc. So we need to collect more data generally, and we have to, we have to examine carefully. And you also, you should read, some more, books, particularly, on Indorant languages. So you can just check the all Indorant, OIA, then, MIA, and New Indorant. Then only you can find out of what exactly happening. So in case of you have this Tore, Tumhare, then More, Amare. So this is my suggestion, and definitely. So you do that, and I have to, tell that, okay, it's a good paper, and you just, you prepare well, and you just endeavor a lot. And thank you very much, okay, Janali, for your
Thank you, sir.
wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir, for your suggestion. I will check all this, and I will add to the paper in future.
So our next speaker is Archana Gogoi, and she will be presenting on, she will be, pronouns in Jamia. So she will present her paper on the topic pronouns in Jamia. So Archana Gogoi, please. Archana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Archana. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Alumni Linguistics AUS for giving me the opportunity to present before you all. Well, my topic is pronouns in Zeme. Here's the methodology. Okay, let me now begin with the presentation. At first, I would like to give a brief description about the Zeme language. The Zeme are one of the subtribes of the so-called Kachanaga tribe. Grierson, in his Linguistic Survey of India, mentioned that Kachanaga has 3 dialects in the Naga Hills: Inzemi, Sengima, and Yama. He said that the last name is also pronounced as Zema and becomes Zeme in North Kachar Hills. According to his classification, it is evident to say that Zeme Naga is one such dialect of Kachanaga. The Zeme stands for the name of a community and a language. Well, there is no clear theory of the origins of Nagas. The common belief is that the ancestors of Zeliangrong people moved out to Makhel and came to Ramting Kevin, then to Chawang Phungning, and finally reached Makuilongdi in the Senapati district of Manipur. From there, they began moving group by group to different directions. The people who settled in the frontiers are called Zeme. The Zeme Nagas are separated across India's 3 northeastern states as well as Myanmar. The 3 northeastern states are Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland. In Assam, the speakers are found in Dima Hasao district. According to the 2011 census of India, the total population of Zeme is 1,736,000 approximately. Zeme Naga has 20 consonantal phonemes and 6 vowels phonemes. It has SOV word order, and there are few classifiers in Zeme. Like most other Tibeto-Burman languages, it is highly agglutinating language with more suffixes than prefixes. It has 3 distinctive tones: rising, level, and falling. The level tone is unmarked in Zeme. Pronouns in Zeme. Pronoun is a word that is used instead of a noun or noun phrase. Pronoun refers to either a noun that has already been mentioned or to a noun that doesn't need to be named specifically. Pronouns in Zeme can be classified into the following types: personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, reflexive pronouns, interrogative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, possessive pronouns, and reciprocal pronouns. Personal pronouns are pronouns that are associated primarily with a particular grammatical person, first person, second person, or third person. These 3 personal pronouns are present in Zeme language, and they have a 3-way opposition: singular, dual, and plural. Dual and plural are marked separately with suffixes, but the singular is unmarked. The suffix nai is added to the first, second, and third person singular to denote duality, and nui is suffixed to the same to denote plurality. I is a distinct form of first person singular number e, and pe is the distinct form of third person singular number pa. First person singular number is E, means I. Dual is Ni, Anai, we both. And plural is Anui, means we. Second person singular number is singular pronoun is Nang, means you. Dual is Nang Nai, you both. And plural is Nang Nui, you. Third person singular pronoun is Pa, he or she. Dual is Pe Nai, means they both. And plural is Pe Nui, means they. Here are some examples. E cricket kantale, I play cricket. Anai cricket kantale, we play cricket. Anui cricket kantale, we play cricket. Possessive pronouns. A possessive pronoun is a pronoun that is used to express possession. In Zeme, the genitive case gu is suffixed to the personal pronoun to denote possessive pronouns. Agu, mine. Nangu, yours. Pegu, his or her. Anuigu, ours. Nangnuigu, yours. Penuigu, theirs. Some examples are Pegu lesitang, his pen. Agu lesitang, my pen. Aize agu lesitang le, this pen is mine. Interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are used to substitute a person or an object when asking a question. In Zeme, the imperative lau is used to interrogative pronoun. Chao, who. Kau, what. Daiteu, why. Daibe, which. Daime, where. Daiting, when. Daigam, how. There are two interrogatives that are derived by suffixing case marker. Chao gu, whose. Chao chu, whom. Chao gu pencil lau, whose pencil. Nangji angkau lau, what is your name. Demonstrative pronoun. A demonstrative pronoun is a pronoun used to point to specific people or things. In Zeme, there are two demonstrative pronouns. The proximate demonstrative pronoun I, this, and the distal demonstrative pronoun we, means that. To pluralize the singular demonstrative, Ramme is suffixed to the distal and proximate demonstrative pronouns. The demonstrative pronouns are formed by suffixing the determiner ze to the proximate and distal demonstrative. Aize agu leisi le, this is my book. I ramme ze agu leisi ramme le, these are my books. Uize nangu leisi le, that is your book. Ui bi ramme ze rangsi mebe ramme le, those are ripe bananas. Reflexive pronouns. The reflexive pronouns of Zeme consist of a personal pronoun followed by the bound root runne, means self. The first person reflexive pronouns, singular reflexive pronouns is arunne, myself, means myself. Dual is anai runne, means ourselves. Plural is anui runne, means ourselves. Second person singular reflexive pronouns is nangrunne, yourself. Dual is nangnai runne, yourselves. And plural is nangnui runne, yourselves. The third person singular reflexive pronoun is pe runne, himself or herself. Penai, dual is penai runne, means themselves. And plural is penui runne, means themselves. Here are some examples. I arunne achu pungle. I love myself. Kereme perunne kabdele. The guard shot himself. Indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun does not refer to any specific person, thing, or amount. Some of the indefinite pronouns in Zeme are as follows. Mige. Mige is used to indicate someone. Me refers to a categorical prefix used for persons, and ge refers to something not clearly visible. Maga. It is used to indicate something. Ma refers to thing, and ga means the amount that has no specific entity. Getaleine. It means everything. Ge means something that is not specific, and leine refers to every. Here, ta is the infix. Maduma. It denotes nothing. Ma refers to a thing and do functions like ge. And mark is the negative marker. Heimena. It indicates everything. Hai refers to 100. But when it is used with mena, which means people, it refers to every. Here are some examples. Maga rau lau. Write something. Pae, paa madu chi makle. She knows nothing. Reciprocals. Reciprocals in Zeme are expressed by suffixing the reciprocal marker of verb cow to the verb root. Usually, Zeme is only the verbal reciprocals. Ram nai cham chikaule. Ram and Sam knows. Anui ket chu lakkaule. We beat each other. From the above discussion, we can conclude that Zeme has 7 types of pronouns: personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, reflexive pronouns, interrogative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, possessive pronouns, and reciprocal pronouns. There are 3 types of personal pronouns in Zeme language: first person, second person, and third person. They have a 3-way position: singular, dual, and plural. To denote duality, the suffix na is added to the first, second, and third person singular, and nu is suffixed to the same to denote plurality. I is a distinct form of first person singular number e, and pe is the distinct form of third person singular number pa. To denote possessive pronoun, the genitive case who is suffixed to the personal pronoun. The imperative plow is used to interrogative pronouns. And there are 2 demonstrative pronouns in Zeme. The proximate demonstrative pronoun I means this, and the distal demonstrative pronoun we, that means that. To pluralize the singular demonstrative, ramme is suffixed to the distal and the proximate demonstrative pronouns. The reflexive pronoun of Zeme consists of a personal pronoun followed by the bound root runne, means self. Reciprocals in Zeme are expressed by suffixing the reciprocal marker of verb cow to the verb root. So usually Zeme has verbal reciprocals. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana Gogoi. So you have made wonderful presentation. I feel happy today because Archana Gogoi is our 4th semester students and he has done something good. I don't want to make lengthy, so I just invite everyone. Please ask any question, the comments. Please, anybody has some query, comment, suggestions,
I just want
Anybody?
to
Yeah.
clarify, sir,
Anybody?
with Archana. You have given Geta Lene, where example of Geta Lene, where you mentioned ta is the infix. Actually, just because it is occurring between two morphemes does not mean it is an infix. Infix is when it occurs inside the morpheme, inside one single one word, as in like if it occurs inside gay. Okay, so it is a suffix, but it is occurring before another suffix. So it is suffix te is tai is geta line, right? So tai is suffix 1 and line is suffix 2. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, can you hear me, Archana?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And the other thing is regarding the mention of duality that you have given. Is it really the dual morpheme? Is it nai, sorry, nui or nai? Which one is that? Nai, right? We both, you both, he or she both. So you please check if it is the numeral 2 that is occurring. If it is a numeral 2 occurring as in we two, you two, then it is not a dual marker. It has to be a different morpheme other than the numeral 2. So you please cross-check with the numerals when you do data collection, whether nai also represents numeral 2 or not. If not, then it is definitely a dual marker. Okay?
Okay, ma'am, I will check it.
I think that's all from my side.
So for your suggestion, and anybody else? If you have any
Okay.
question?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, Archana,
Please,
very good. Yeah, just to know that you are a 4th semester student and you are presenting in such a way, it's very appreciated and encouraging. So I wish, very best for your future interviewer as well. So yes, definitely, as you are in the 4th semester, we all understand that you are not introduced to the research methodology as well as in the coursework, even though you have done a very good job. Just a rectification that I would like to make. Can you go to your reflexive pronoun? Yeah, so yes, you are saying rune, na? So you are just writing it as the bound root. Okay. Yes, even though this is a rune is a bound root, just my suggestion is this the first person and in your following slide also I see it becoming as e also, okay, for the the first person singular. So sometimes it becomes sometimes it becomes e, okay. So you just cross check it whether it's or the e for the first person singular. Okay, that is one. I forgot what I was supposed to ask here. Not ask, just I was about to give one comment. Anyway, so let me come to that at the end part of it. Yeah, that is one thing I observed, and I think we are running out of time. So definitely there are some certain areas, and that's all fine because you are a 4th semester student. When you are introduced to this, coursework and research methodology, automatically it will be refined. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Bajan, for your wonderful suggestion. And anybody else? Because we have shortage of time, only 1 or 2 questions.
Okay, sir. Quickly, just one comment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Archana, congratulations. I'm like Bijan said, I'm very happy to know that you're just a 4th semester student and you have presented a very nice paper. It, in fact, better than some research scholars' paper. Congratulations on that. Keep it up,
Thank
okay?
you so much.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Now, in the introduction, you have mentioned Jeme as a subtype of Kachanaga, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, yeah, we refer to Grayson. We are still using Grayson's work, his classification, or the terms that he have given. Now, my suggestion is that yeah, it's been like more than 100 years ago that these terms were given. And I'm not saying that it's what they have done is wrong, but I would suggest to check into the more recent kind of classifications or more recent terms that scholars have used, more recent terms. Okay, so for example, most of these terms are misnomers. They are, I mean, like the native people doesn't understand or they don't know why they are called by such name. Okay, so that is one thing. And now, in the present situation, in the present days, nobody use Kachanaga anymore, right? In Manipur, Jeme is recognized and as Jeme. In Nagaland, of course, it is clubbed with Liangmai and it is recognized as Jeliang. And I believe in Assam, it is also recognized as Jemi. So you can just refer to Jemi as Jemi, and Katanaga is no longer used. People doesn't use that name to identify themselves. And another thing is in classification of languages, TV languages, Berlin and Post and Berlin, and even Vandrium, they have given a subcategory of Jeme subfamily, Jeme subcategory in the classification of languages. So in Jeme subgroup, there will be Jeme language, Liangmai language, Rongmai, Maram, and other closely related languages. Okay, so you look into those more recent works for this kind of classification or the terms. All right. So yeah, I'm very happy. This Jeme is a very closely related language to Liangmai. That is my mother tongue, and I'm working on it. So I will be very happy to work together with you in future. So all the things that you have presented here, I can totally understand because it's same with my language. So same with Liangmai. So I'm very happy that you are doing this. All the best for you. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. I will
Thank you,
include,
Daimai, for your wonderful suggestion regarding the classification of languages. Anybody else? Okay, only one question. Last question. If anybody has question. Sana, you just go to the interrogative pronoun section, the section of interrogative pronoun. Arsana?
yes, sir.
Yes, in the interrogative pronouns. So you have chow is who. Then you have uncle, what, right? Then you have this dai teo, why, then dai be, who is, dai me, where, etc. Okay. So what my suggestion is that you can categorize interrogative pronouns into two. That is, one is basic interrogative pronouns, and the second one is the derived interrogative pronouns. See here, the chow is the basic one. Similarly, this uncle is the basic one. Then, from deu teo, then dai ve, dai me, dai tu. These all are, derived interrogative pronouns, I feel. And you can just, you can check, right? And you can, just carefully examine, okay, in your, upcoming, your work, okay, on the language. And that is one. Then I agreed with the Dr. Monali. Dr. Monali was talking about the dual. You see here, okay, nine may be the two, right? Here, nine may be two, and it is not exactly dual marker. Okay, as Monali also mentioned that if you have any other morpheme indicating that duality, then okay, we can say that this language has, dual and plural. But otherwise, this language has only two numbers. One is singular and the plural. So you can check it, right? Because we have, dual in Sanskrit language. Sanskrit has singular, dual, and the plural. Okay, and you can read, okay, some of the languages which are having, duality in that particular, languages. This is second. Then third one, when Bijan was talking something about, yeah, one more thing. Okay, so I should tell you that this law, I don't know, in the concluding part, you are mentioning that imperative marker law is used to form interrogative pronouns in the concluding remarks. You see in the concluding remarks, the
Yes.
imperative law is used to interrogative pronoun. What is this? The imperative law. I don't think so. The imperative is not relating to the pronouns in this particular language. You please check carefully, okay? The one here,
Okay, sir, I will check it.
law is used to something, you just be careful, okay, and examine carefully. And we have many other things to discuss, but because of the time and because of the shortness of time, so we can wind up here. And thank you very much, Archana Gogoi. So you have done good job, and I wish you the best, okay, in your future career and life as well. And thank you very much, okay. So work hard, okay, and do something on this particular language. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, sir. I will include the things to my paper.
Yes. So now we can invite the next speaker. The next speaker is Ratnojoy Riang. So Ratnojoy Riang will be presenting on prefixation in Riang. Ratnojoy, over to you, please.
Ratnajoy, you are muted. Please unmute.
Ratnojoy, you please unmute yourself.
I think he's presenting from Pranjit. Yeah, Pranjit is
Yeah,
unmute.
Pranjit, can you please
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, Ratnojoy, yes, please.
Actually, my laptop is problem in connection in internet, so I came to the Francis room.
Okay.
Good evening, sir and ma'am, and my colleagues and my juniors. Today my paper present will be on the topic of prefixation in India. Outlines, introductions, methodology, objective, prefixation, India, conclusion, and references. Introductions. Riang is one of the indigenous languages of Northeast India spoken in the Mizoram, Tripura, and some part of Assam, including neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Burma. According to the 2011 census report of India, the total population of Riang is about 188,080. Riang language belongs to the Bodo-Garo subgroup of the Tibeto-Burman language family. The Riang language is used in the home domain and also in the local village part. However, it is not used in the administration and judiciary level, else Bengali language is used as a substitution for other level. The Riang language is not taught in the school, college as a medium of instruction or as subject. The correct nomenclature of this ethnic group of Riang among people is group. My review of the literature. Extensions of the description or documentation of the language has not been done by any language so far. But current 2016 Riang work book, the book is a comprehensive one. It provides the list of a basic vocabulary about the natural objects, body parts, housing and household articles, numerals, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs, etc. are subject to the natural meaning. The data collection and methodology. The data collection of the proposed work is carried out by personal interview and observation, and the questionnaires to get the young lexical items in the North Tripura district of Tripura, where the native speaker of the language are considerably more. The primary data is collected and checked with many informants from the different age group, profession, and sex to get an accurate result. The existence of written materials in the form of journal, books, and articles, etc., will be studied as in the source. The main objective of this paper is to study the prefixation in Riang. The paper will discuss based on the Riang speaker of Tripura State district of North Tripura. Prefixation. A number of words in Riang are realized in the word creation process by the prefixation. In the Riang language, these following prefixes are being used to create various word classes. They are explained with example below. Prefixation derive a positive verb. A positive verb is formed from the Riang prefixation processes. A positive verb are verbs that have an argument and indicate the reason of the activity represented by the verb. In Riang, the causal prefix are so, so, ka, ki, ku, la, ma, so. These are appended to the primary verb to show positiveness. Word formation process of the positive verb is given below. The prefix so. So is a positive prefix. Squeeze it to ban, force to ban. The prefix ka. Ka is positive prefixes. Ham mean good, kaham, force to good. The prefix ki, kisi. Ki is a positive prefix. Si is wet, force to wet. Negation by the prefixation. Ta, a negative prefix, the most prolific productive marker in Riang. It adds a prefix to the verb to create the negative imperative verb. Negative prefix plus verb is negation. Ta, ta is a negative imperative marker. Sa is a say. Tasa, don't share. The construction of negation through prefixation is illustrated in the following sentence. Nung kau tasa. Nu mean you, kau mean what, ta mean negative imperative, sa mean say, don't say what. Adjective formation by prefixation. The adjective prefixes in the Riang languages, including ku, ka, ki, ga, and ha, are used to generate various adjectives from the verbal basis. The adjective is a prefix as adjectivalizer prefix plus verb equal to adjective. These are as follows. Adjective of color. Adjective of adjective prefix plus verb adjective. The prefix ku. Ku is a adjective adjectivalizer prefixes plus somin to darken, kusam black. Noun formation by prefixation. Prefixation is the process through which nouns are produced. Some verbs are becoming noun as a result of the prefixation process, and some bound words are becoming noun as a result of the prefixation process. The majority of the kingship words are bound words that have become noun as a result of the prefixation process. Noun forming from verb by prefixation. In Riang, there is just one nominalizer prefix ma, which is used to construct noun from the verb. During this process, major verb become noun by adding ma prefix. Nominalizer prefix plus verb is equal to noun. The prefix ma plus bar, mbar. Ma become here a prefix. Bar become to bloom and flower. It comes to the noun. Mbar, a flower. Kingship noun creation by the prefixation. Pronominal prefix plus kingship noun, a kingship noun. The pronominal prefix a plus pa, pa. Here a is a pronominal prefix plus pa is father, father. Formation of the classifier by prefixation. The classifier ma is used to classify the animal, bird, insect, fish, etc., and also used to classify the human and ghost. Maha bro. Ma is a classifier. Ha is a one, bro is a man, and one man. Except for animal and human, the morpheme ke can employ as a common classifier in Yang. Ke ha and they. K is classifier. Ha is one, and they is a branch. One branch. Findings and conclusions. In Yang, affixation is further classified as a prefixation, where prefixation play an important role in the formation of new words. Prefixation is used to identify classifier. Prefixation indicate negation. In the Yang language, there is no infixation. And this is my references. Thank you.
Thank you, Ratnazar, for your wonderful presentation. Just I invite people, okay, to ask questions and to make comments, etc. Please.
Yeah, Rodno Joy.
Yes.
That was a very interesting paper. A few observations. One, you said in the introduction, you mentioned the place where it is spoken, and you said some parts of Assam. So let us be very clear which parts of Assam, if possible, mention the districts.
Oh yes, in Assam, mostly in the Karimganj district, Hailakandi district, and this Kachar district and Karbi Anglong.
You mentioned that, okay. Don't make vague statements like some parts. Okay, that is very good as a researcher. And in the methodology, you also mentioned observation method. I don't know, how are you going to observe in observation? Yeah, in the first line. I don't know how prefixation or what is this called? Affixation can be collected using observation method. So let us be a little careful. Coming to the main point, if we look at your paper, you have discussed only prefixation, right?
Yes.
What about suffixation? That's does the language not have suffixation?
Oh, there is no suffixation is there.
Then why is it not in the paper? You mentioned that in that conclusion, infixation is not there. If suffixation is there, it has to be discussed.
Okay.
You have discussed only partially. Otherwise, you have to change the title of the paper and say prefixation in Riang. Otherwise, if you are talking about or the affixation, then you need to talk about suffixation also. That's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
his title is prefixation in Riang. Just to clarify.
Yes. Mary Kim, okay, his title is prefixation in Riang.
Yeah, if it is affixation, then he has to talk about suffixation also, because he is saying that there is suffixation. But in the paper, only prefixation is discussed. That's my point.
This title of the paper is prefixation in Riang.
Okay, I thought it was affixation. That's why.
No.
Okay then. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Mary Kim so for your observation, for your comments and suggestion. And anybody else has any question?
Okay, yeah, sir, let me take this opportunity. Okay, yeah, it's a very short but very elaborative and concise presentation, Ratnajoy. Are you a Riang speaker, Ratnajoy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's okay. Just from your presentation, that I can say that prefixation is very productive in your language. So right from the beginning, causative, there are multiples of prefix, that means markers that used to be that is used for the causativization. So if you can elaborate, means if you can make some more clarification that when, so, when, ka, and when ki is occur with what type of the verbs. Okay, let's say with a stative verb, or is it with the intransitive verb? You know, if you can give some clarification on that, then I think it can enhance or it can polish your work. Okay, that is one suggestion.
Thank you very much, sir.
And to the coming to next to the nominalizer marker ma. Just come to ma nominalizer. Yeah. I have a doubt. Okay, see this ma, it's a consonant sound. Okay, and here you are treating this as a prefix. So because you are the native speaker, you may know better than us, and being a scholar as well. So can you pronounce once flower?
Mbar.
Once again.
Mbar.
So yeah, that's what I was, just this is my observation. You can do some more research by taking more example. It seems to be a pre-nasalized, voiceless stops, this something like that. Okay. Yeah, if it is a pre-nasalization, then you cannot treat ma as a prefix. Okay, ma and ba, it should be one segment, means one sound. Okay. So because you have only one example here, so I cannot say any other thing. So you need to take some more example of this kind of occurrence of this ma, but it is not like ma bar. Na? You're saying like bar. That is
in case of mpa.
Yes. So that you are saying that you just see whether the ear is passing through your nose before saying the following sound. So from that, I'm just assuming that this is a pre-nasalization process. Okay.
Yes.
So you just say it out.
Bijan, you're right. It seems maybe pre-nasalized consonants. So otherwise, what I find in many Bodogar languages that this ma and then vowel sound very highly reduced and very short vowel, right? Something like this. Very short, and the highly reduced vowel is there. Okay, with the ma, right?
Okay, sir.
Or maybe because of the influence of the other languages, this ma prefix maybe may become this pre-nasalized, something like. So anyway, so Bijan, thank you very much for your observation and comments.
Okay.
And
I would like to add one thing.
Thank you very much.
Nazar, you just said this as this ma you said. It's found in other Borogaro languages too. It's not it's a kind of prefixation, but it's called categorical prefixes, as mentioned by Robin Smalling. You just check this the language of Montpur Mandikaro. You'll find there. It's like we say bubar for this bar is to bloom. Bubar is blossom of flower, like blossom. So it's like categorical prefixes for trees, for these flowers. You'll find that. And in prefixation, just go to once there's a positive prefix.
Positive.
Yeah, go to positive. Yeah, it's Just next slide. Yeah, I like to add something here. The prefix ka, as I feel it's not a prefix. Just check it once, because for good, what do you say in Liang?
Good.
Yeah.
Kaham.
Yeah, that itself is already good, and
ham also it can be good. Ham.
Yeah, ham is intransitive stative verb. It's not adjective there. Rather, these adjectives are formed by prefixing ka and vowel. So it's like vowel harmony is there always. The prefix always harmonizes the verb root. That is the thing. You just check it, this one. Otherwise, this is I found some errors. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, just listening to this Samir. What I just want to clarify is that this kaham, okay, the ham is be good. Ham is a stative verb, and by adding this ka, right? By adding this ka, this stative verb became the adjectival in Riang language, and it is happening in most of the Bodogaro languages, right? And one more thing, okay, I have to mention, okay, what Bijan was talking about, this, causative marker like this ki, then this ka, who, and this is actually this ka plus vowel sound, and this vowel sound, it is due to the, okay, this vowel sound keep changing because of the vowel harmony. You see here, okay, this kaham, right? This is ha in the verb stem, okay, this ha is there, a is there, that's why, okay, here in the prefix a is there. Suppose if it is say the verb is shum, then this should be the kusum, something like shum, maybe say black. But if it is if it is be black, right, if it become vowel, if we just make vowel, this should be if we make adjective, this should be kasum, sorry, kusum, something
Yeah.
like, okay.
So, yeah, yeah.
So this is the case of vowel harmony, right? These vowels may be changed in the prefix because of the verb stem,
And
right?
also, this one thing that this kisi also it's adjective. When you make it no here just next you
Next.
say this is next slide. Not this one. That kisi.
Oh, kisi. Yeah.
I think this is also wrong because it cannot be here positive prefix. It should be ma and vowel misi. That is postulate or make that. You just check it the data here. Kisi means where it's adjective already. When you want to transitivize it, you have to prefix this me. I think. Just check misi. Is it?
Yeah. I would
Yes,
just like to add to what Samir has said. I think you need to read a bit on this nominalizing prefix kaga that is occurring in TV languages, like Dhiren sir has also pointed out, and Samir also. You can read Linda Connor's nominalizing ka in Karbi because it more or less has the same sequence here as well. And in Dimasa it is ga, and in Kokborok and in Riang it is ka. So what Samir is saying is right. It is not a causative prefix. It is rather attributive, and it is a nominalizing prefix because it becomes a part of the nominal property as an adjective. So you please see, as in I'm sure there is a ka causative prefix, but these are not the examples for it. That is what I
this
like.
ka, ki, then so, these are not the causative prefixes. These all are say adjectival prefixes.
No, yeah, sir. This
Not
so
causative prefix,
so is a prefix. I think it's a positive.
yeah. So yeah. The first one, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
first one is positive.
the first one is positive, but the second is ka, ki, all these are not the positive prefix. This is the adjectival prefix here. And
Yes.
when you talk about the ta, right? Ta, you were talking about ta is a negative, negative prefix, right? And I feel that this ta may not be negative prefix. So ta may be particle. Yeah, ta. Here this tasa, right?
Mm.
You can check that this ta may not be prefix. So ta may be particle because you can just give more example on this ta, or okay, you just check other examples of this.
In another example,
particle.
don't do. In case don't
You
do.
better say negative particle, not the prefix. If it is prefix, there must be vowel harmony with the verb. Yes, okay, we have here in the case of this kaham, then in the case of kusum, right? In the case of kishim, etc. So The case of ta is something different from the ka, okay, who, ki, etc. So that's why better you say, okay, negative particle rather than negative prefix. This is one more, you know, information. This I want to, you know, I want to tell you. Okay, better say negative particle rather than negative prefix. And you know, and when Mary Kim was talking about the settlement of, you know, Riang in Kasar, you know, in Bhuban Valley, right? So Bhuban Valley, there are Riang speakers. So you can go there, okay? Maybe, you know, 21 Riang families are there in the top of the Bhuban Hills. So this is one information, okay? I want to give you.
Thank you, sir.
And you know, and you are talking about the is a pronominal prefix, but you have given in the gloss, you know, Appa is father, and Appa seems to be my father, right? You just go to the pronominal prefix. Yes, yeah. Okay. You are talking about this. Is a pronominal prefix, then pa is father, and Appa is father. I feel that Appa should be my father. Okay.
Yes.
So, Ratno, so you have done good job, but you have to incorporate, okay, all the comment and suggestion made by the audience.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. We don't have much time because we have next session. I would like to thank all three speakers for their, you know, wonderful presentation, and I'm just thankful to the audience, okay, who made very wonderful comments, you know, suggestions for all three speakers. I'm really thankful to all the, you know, all my students, right, research scholars, and okay, my esteemed colleagues, so who made this session wonderful and meaningful and interesting. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for chairing the first session. As we are running out of time now, I would like to invite Dr. Mary Kim Hawkip to chair the next session. So in the next session, we have two paper presenters from Pranjit Diori and Borsa Saikia. Over to you, ma'am Mary.
A very good evening to all, and welcome to the second session of today's students presentation series. We had a very interesting session already, and I'm sure some of us are tired. Nonetheless, we have to do justice to all the papers. We have only two papers, as Bijan has already mentioned, but both the papers are very interesting. So I request everybody to be there till the end of the session. We have two papers. The first presenter is Pranjit Diori, and he will be talking about the role of missionaries in language documentation with special reference to Tiwa. And we have another presentation that is from Borsa Saikia, and her topic is subject food in Assamese. So without wasting any more time, let us begin the session because we're already running late. Like the previous session, let us have the presenter and then let's have the discussion, and then we'll go to the second paper. So may I now invite the first presentation, the first presenter, Pranjit Diori, to present his paper. Over to you, Pranjit. Pranjit, you will be having 25 minutes in all, so you can use your first 15 minutes and we can have 10 minutes discussion. And I request all the scholars and students also to be more interactive. If you have questions, you can raise, or if you don't want to ask the presenter directly, you can also put your questions in the chat box.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to present my paper, The Role of Missionaries in Language Documentation, with a special reference to Cuba. So these are the key points: missionaries' contribution to Assamese language and culture and Tiwa language, and role of missionaries in language preservation with special reference to Tiwa. Here I have added Assamese language also, because there is a great role of British, not British, the missionaries for creating Assamese as a regional language of Assam. So there is a straight. So first I will talk about the Assamese missionaries' contribution to Assamese language and culture. So in the history of Assam and Assamese literature, the period of 19th century was especially significant one. From the beginning of the century, Assam experienced political, sociological, economical diminution, and all of these situations contributes towards the creation of another diminution called intellectual diminution. This ruined the healthy environment of Assam, which was necessary for the creation of good literature. In this prevailing situation, Christian missionaries arrived at Assam. The contributions of Christian missionaries towards the development of Assamese languages and literature is noteworthy. In the year 1826 was most significant in the history of Assam, as it is the year from which the colonial era began with the British colonial according to the Treaty of Yandabo, 1826. It is also the year at which 600 years old Ahom kingdom was diminished under British control. The ruling system of Assam, external environment, social traditions and values, all are got changed. Even the education, political, whatever, the environment got changed. So when the Britishers came to Assam, then they thought of bringing instead of appointing Assamese people as an officers, they brought the Bengalis from the from the West Bengal. So British did not follow any clear-cut language policy. Therefore, they easily accepted the request of the new appointed Bengali officers and announced Bengali as the official language of Assam in 1836. So the three American Baptist missionaries came to Assam, which can be regarded as the fortune for the state. N. Brown, O.T. Cutter, and M. Brownson. As soon as their arrival in Assam in 1836, they started their work for the development of Assamese language and literature. They realized that Assamese as the mother tongue of Assam people is the best language. Of Assamese people is the best language for giving knowledge about Christian religion, and it will be very helpful to attract and convert them in this religion. So therefore, they acquired a good knowledge about the local language, that is Assamese, and started to write and also publish school textbooks in Assamese language, but also created a war with the government to make them convinced and replace Assamese as the official language in the place of Bengali. Few Assamese young people are headed by Anandaram Dheke Alphukon, supported and the missionaries in this endless effort, and the collectiveness, ceaseless effort got success and restored Assamese as the official language in 1873. So beside textbooks, first Assamese grammar and lexicon in this language was coming from the missionaries. In 1839, M. W. Robinson published a grammar in Assamese language, Ohomia Bhasar Byakaran. Another grammar was written by Mr. N. Brown in 1848, titled as Grammatical Notes of the Assamese Language. Mr. M. Brownson wrote a dictionary in Assamese and English named as Assamese and English Dictionary in 1867 and published from the British Baptist Missionaries Press, Silchar. Moreover, Mr. Cutter's contribution to Assamese literature and English and Assamese lexicon was very significant. Another step which was taken by missionaries for the expansions of Assamese language was establishment of schools. In 1843, Mr. Brownson established a school in Nagaon. Still, that one is there is the mission school is there. It is a subsequent period in many places of Assam. For example, in Silchar, 6 schools were established with their efforts. In order to solve the scarcity problem in the case of school textbooks, missionary wrote various textbooks like Bore Matra, Pratham Kitab, Hado Kotha, Pratham Ganana, Dutya Ganana, or Padartha Vidya, etc. In 1831, Oliver T. Cluster established a press in Sadia, and after that, on the efforts of Dr. N. Brown and O.T. Cutter, another printing press was established in Silchar in 1843 or in 1840. The most significant contribution of Baptist missionaries in Assamese literature was the publication of magazines come newspaper, namely Oronodoy, 1846 to 88. The name Oronodoy means dawn. Moreover, few young Assamese men have been missionaries revived Assamese language and literature. Among them, the Anandaram Nikalpokon, which was the significant one, wrote and published many spiritual articles advocating the use of Assamese language in school and courts of Assam. Ohomia Lorar Mitra, written by him, clearly showed that he's unbound the true patriotism. So I'll talk about this map later on. So this is the map of Assam, where it shows the Tiwa people are located. So introduction about the Tiwa. Tiwa is also known as the Lalung. It's a Bodo-Garo language, belong to the Tibeto-Burman subgroup of the Sino-Tibetan language family. Tiwa is spoken in Nagaon, Karbi Anglong, Morigaon, Kamrong Metro, Dhemaji district of Assam, also in River district of Meghalaya. The total population of Tiwa was 371,000, out of which only 31,421 can speak the language, according to 2011 census report of Assam. So I'll come to the main topic. Whatever I said about the Assamese, the role of Assamese, the role of missionaries in Assamese language and literature, it will reflect to our Tiwa community also. So missionaries plays a very vital role in language preservation, in the language documentation for Tiwa community. So as per UNESCO report 2003, the Tiwa language is one of the endangered languages of Northeast India. The Tiwa people still practices oral transmission method. J. Grierson's Linguistic Survey of India, Volume 3, Part 2, 1928 gives us the first-hand information about the Tiwa, which is known as Lalung's language, for the first time. According to him, this language belonged to the Bodo group under the Bodo Naga section of the Tibeto-Burman language family. He mentioned that the total number of speakers of the Tiwa language as 40,000 in 1891. In this book, he also tried to bring out some linguistic features of Tiwa language, including case system, numbers of personal pronouns, and the verbs. After Grierson, the missionaries took active role to save this language more than the community peoples. So Father Michael Balwan, or known as the M. Balwan, and Father U.V. Joseph's contribution towards the Tiwa language is unforgettable. So Mr. Balwan, Father Balwan, in let me discuss about the little bit about Father Balwan. He was a priest of France. In 1948, he came to India just after the independence of India. So he was a student of science only. He did graduation in BSc. In 1958, he was in Nongpo. At that time, he visited to Umswai just for preaching purposes. In 1960, he started to he wrote about the religion book and was published in 1962. It was named as a Mindai Kurma. That book is completely Tiwa language only. It took more than 2 years, around 2 years, but he published in Tiwa language only. The Tiwa Mat, which is known as the Tiwa language only. This book, it was published in 1968 itself. There are many issues. I would like to show you the PDF of that book. This is the book which was written by the M. Balwan. It was in 1983. 1968. So next book is Sigai Lai. It's a learner's book. Also, I don't have this book. The books which one I will show you over the PDF file. That one, the book that I have with me only. So the Sonane Fondra Arafinine Lekha Aman. It's a short stories in Tiwa language. Although I have this book, they did not while publishing, I think they missed the date of publishing here. Even here it's not mentioned. And though here they give different short stories of the Tiwa languages. Sonane Pondra, Kona, Mahine, Manja, like this. There are different short stories as he have added it. So Pini Pini Korong, different short stories of Tiwa language, Tiwa and English language. Here he has given in both the language. One is in Tiwa and one is in English. It was published in 1971. Here is the union is a strength that Chap Nagara Kishapol. The same story, but they have translated into one is in Tiwa and one is in English. So Neme Lai Siba Aratora, although I don't have these books, soft copy, even a hard copy I don't have. The Jisu Krisetonga, Lalung English translation, Yuva Bible history, online outline of language, Lalung grammar, that one is published in 1975. A Tiwa English, an English Tiwa dictionary with Kasi in 1982. Then Tiwa Tinman Gospel Sunday Gospels in 1970. Korong Kodal long stories in 1976. Okay. Here I want to say that till 1968, we don't have any pressure groups. We did not have any pressure group. In 1968, only our one pressure group is known as the Lalung Darbar came out. So till that time, they came out for just for any other political purpose or for getting political business for the people or for the upliftment of the people. So after that, only in 1981, only the Tiwa Matranolai Topra came, which is known as the Tiwa Saite Sabha. So before that, only the community people thought that they need to save the language. The missionaries thought they came from the abroad, from the foreign countries, and they thought that this language is an endangered. So they must think of they thought about the preaching, they thought about the expanding their religion, but they also thought about the conservation of the language. So one thing is that in 1996, Mohiram Bordolo, he wrote one handwritten grammar. That one I want to show you through my this link only. It's fully archived. So this one is the can you see the archive is Tiwa Kodal Khada Man. It was written in 1996.
Pranjit, we can't see. We are seeing the title page.
Okay, sir. I just go.
You can do one thing, Pranjit. You can share in the chat box. You can upload it for us in chat box after you are done with the
link. I will share it. So,
yeah, you continue, please.
Yes, ma'am. So what is that? In the year 1996, only we thought of writing and grammar, that which one is then also handwritten. So before that, only around 1960s, only what the foreigners thought, or the further Enval one thought of writing a dictionary or a grammar. That one is which one is when we got the data last 3 months back, only I got the data. I was very surprised to get all this data, how they are, why they are so but their thinking is so high that now only we are thinking. So that's why I brought up with this my topic. So again, I want to thank even the Father Joseph contributions also. I'll not talk about him more. So just after M11, Father Joseph was the person who came out with the different qualities of Tiwa language and also the other languages of Northeast India. I think everyone must know him. The Tiwa language Tiwa English dictionary with the English Tiwa index. It's a dictionary book which was published in 2014. Associate reader is Horsing Pollard, Solana Maslai, Alfred Maslai, Viviana Maslai, and Simona Matai. Actually, his first editor is since Father UV Joseph. So he taught this many people from the hills area, even from the Umswai Valley area. So just because of them, even the Horsing Pollard, now he's practicing he's writing different even the novels also he's writing. Last year in 2021, he got Horsing Pollard got Sahityā Academy Awards from India. So in this dictionary, although he did not include the IPA, but it's we can say that it's a quality work which we can uplift in for the future. We can work it in a better way with him also. So the first person who completed Tiwa Bible is known as a Bibil Kumar. It was published in December 2019. So although the New Testament, Old Testament was written by the Father Ambalban, that one was known as the Korong Kodal and Korong Kejam. But then also the Father Joseph compiled everything and he translated everything nicely with the help of the community people. Horsing Kola, all these persons, above persons, they were dead. Even the Philip Masai and all to whom I know, they brought up with a very beautiful Bible. This is the Bible's what's the inauguration day, and even though I have that Bible. So apart from these two major works, he also published different articles. Even the Father Joseph, different articles in different linguistics of journals. So even the publications his are with the Linda Corner that using Eastern Indo-Aryan language in Tiwa to help model context in a case study in a loan word phonology. Creative prefix in 4 Boro-Garo languages, which is it was published in 2008. Tone correspondence among the Boro languages. It was published in 2002, I think so, with the Robbins Burling. So Umsoi Don Bosco also teaches Tiwa language from the class 1 to 4 as a religion language. If you see in other parts of Tiwa community where Tiwa people are located, we don't find that they're teaching Tiwa language as a religion language, even though NEP will implement it. But before the implementation of the Tiwa languages, they already started. It's long back they have started Tiwa language as a religion language till class 4 level. Still they are practicing. So conclusions. The contribution of the Christian missionaries to develop Tiwa language is not worthy and will always remember. Their work, that is the grammar, the dictionary, short stories, is a language documentation work. They not only contribute to the development of Assamese language and literature, but most significantly, they created confidence as well as consciousness to keep their own literature and language under the protection. And this way, only their continuous effort, because of which Assamese language again got their own place by reviving Bangla. They may be preached, but they document the language for the future generations. And so these are my reference only. And most of the books, which one I have got, it's from them only. The Seva Pangai. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ranjit, for that very, very interesting and elaborate paper. The paper is now open for discussions, comments, and suggestions. May I now invite anyone to come up with questions and suggestions or clarifications, whatever you want to ask, please ask him.
Okay, I will just ask one question, which is out of curiosity. I just want to ask Ranjit, how easy or how difficult was it to collect these, these literatures? Are they available? And where are they available? And how much available are they? I mean, for the Tiwa community.
It's not available. Last month when I was at home, I went to Fieldwork. At that time, I went to Umsoi, the Siddamakha area where Don Bosco it is. So I met that horsing color. Most of the time we were searching. Actually, we went for searching folk stories and folk narratives for SCRT purposes. SCRT, since SCRT has given has permission to compile a books for pre-primary schools. So we went for that purpose only. While searching book, we got that books in horsing collar book. Then we went to Don Bosco library. So only few books were there. So it was very limited. The books that were there, we brought everything. I think for each copy only we got. 4 of us we went, so we got each one only. Only I have around 5 or 6 copies. So that copies we are thinking of reprint, and I think very soon we are reprint, and we will, after scanning, we may document or we may archive also in any places like with what Sobana Salia ma'am and all, we may archive all this. But all these works, what they have done is very good, ma'am. Although they are not linguistics persons, but what they work is very, we have to say, that's why we have to say thank you to them.
Okay, all the best to you for collecting all the old and early works. It's very important to archive them, and we hope that you get success in archiving all the materials available for the Tiwa people. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Manali, for the suggestions. Others, are there any more questions?
Yeah, Mary, I have a question.
Okay.
Ranjit.
Yes, sir.
These missionaries, they have done something for the community, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have written some grammar, then dictionary, etc., etc.
Yes, sir.
So my point is that Tiwa has introduced in the school, right, as a subject.
Sir, just few days back in 7 December or 7 February, they have discussed about introducing of Tiwa language until primary, till grade 5. Yes, sir.
It is not introduced yet.
Yes,
No.
sir, not yet introduced, sir.
Not
Even the
introduced.
Tiwa Autonomous Council, they have discussed, they're thinking of appointing later in last, and they thought of, they appointed also, but they did not, they were not able to continue it, sir. For that purpose, they
Yeah.
stopped again. Even the study materials were not properly compiled. So
Not
again, the
properly
government have
prepared,
taken.
right? Okay, okay. Then fine, okay. So my point is, these missionaries, they have done something for the community.
Yes, sir.
And it is, commendable work, and we have to appreciate them. But
Yes.
my question is, what is the reaction of the community towards their works on Tiwa language?
Yes. Actually, they are very supportive. They support them. They supported just because of that only, sir, they are able to come out with this productive quality works. Even at present, they're not doing any work. The Kiva Saita Sabha they are doing. But sir, what they did, they supported.
Yeah, but I heard that this Tiwa Saita Sabha, they sometimes, they are not very much happy with the works of the missionaries.
So now, actually, sir, some religious issues is there, but now it doesn't mean now there is no issues. Now they are helping and moving towards together.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments? The scholars, do you have any questions or suggestions for Pranjit? Yeah, if there are not, I would like to make a few comments or ask some questions to Pranjit. Are these missionaries still alive, Pranjit? Or
Yes,
they are not?
ma'am. Still, they established that missionary Don Bosco school in 1975. Still, that school is going on. They upgraded that school to high secondary level.
No, I'm asking these missionaries that you talk about, Father Joseph and Father, what was the other name?
Yes, ma'am. But Embalban, Father Embalban, he passed away in 1989 itself, 12th October. But Father UV Joseph is still alive. He's in Meghalaya area only.
Okay, in that case, for your documentation purpose, like Monali was telling, you can go and meet him personally. He must be having the copies also. Now, coming to my question, are the missionaries who brought the writing system, or you already had a writing system before that? What is the script? Like, I think they use the Roman script, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Roman script.
So they introduce the writing system.
Yeah.
The orthography and the primer and everything.
Yes, ma'am. Before, ma'am, in earlier days, the plain Tiwa people still they used to write Assamese only. The grammar.
Okay.
Yes, the grammar book which one they wrote in 1996. That was handwritten. They wrote in Assamese only. But what the father wrote, it was completely, ma'am, in Roman.
Okay. So at present, what script do the Tivas use? The Roman script or the Devanagari script?
Ma'am, Roman script. Just for tone marking system, it's easy for us to mark tone. So for that purpose, they have the community people have discussed to use, or they're using, ma'am, this one Roman script only.
Okay. So do you think, as a linguist, the writing system that they have introduced, is it able to capture all the sounds of the language? Do you think the writing system that they introduce is adequate to capture the phonemes or the sounds of the language?
Some, I don't think so, ma'am. For some marker, like they miss it, ma'am. Even the tone marking system also, even they are confused with the tone markers, which one where to use also.
So
even
what is the Sahitya Academy, Tiwa Sahitya Academy's reaction to that? Are
Yes,
they going to modify or improve, or are you happy with that?
Ma'am, they have used Thopko and Thopti. So Thopko for high tone and Thopti for low tone. Then I asked them, why do you use this one? But they are not so clear with this one.
Okay.
So with that one, and they have first we have to convince them that this is the one and this is the right symbol you have to use for. Then only, ma'am, it will be clear. Even though, ma'am, they write in Roman, even the Hughes people, they don't use. And while writing in novels also, recently in QR Cites, but they published around 25 books in novels. They did not mark tone properly.
Yeah, of course.
So its main purpose is that, ma'am, they're using that Adobe page maker. There we cannot mark everything properly. So for that purpose also, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have more questions. We will discuss that later. Thank you for that very non-linguistic, non-data kind of paper. It was a little away from the other papers that we had. That was a very interesting and very nice paper. Thank you once again, Pranjit. Now moving to the second presentation, we shall now invite Borsha to present her paper, and the title of her paper is Subjecthood in Assamese. Over to you, Borsha.
Yes, ma'am.
Borsha is a research, our fourth semester student.
Good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Alumni Association of Linguistics Department of Assam University and my respected teachers for giving me the opportunity to present here. My topic for today's presentation is subjecthood in Assamese. Here is the methodology. As we know, language is a central feature of human identity. No community can survive without a language. The language of the communities live in India is very ancient and rich. Similarly, Assamese language is also one of the ancient and rich languages of the Northeastern language. It belongs to Eastern Indo-Aryan language family, which is spoken by the Assamese people of the state of Assam. It has mainly three dialects: Eastern, which is spoken in the districts of Sibsagar, Jorhat, Dibrugarh, and Lakhimpur districts; Central, which is spoken in Morigaon district; Western, which is spoken in a large area to the west of Guwahati. It has a number of regional varieties. Among all these, Eastern dialect is regarded as the standard dialect of Assamese. According to the census report of 2011, India, the total number of Assamese speakers are approximately 15.9 million. It is the official language of Assam. Assamese has a relatively free word order, usually of SOV. And it has a rich morphology and agglutinative language. Even it has a strong case marking system. Besides this, it has 8 vowels, 10 diphthongs, and 23 consonants, including 2 semivowels. Let's move to the topic. What is subject? The subject of a sentence is a noun, pronoun, person, place, or thing that is performing the action of the sentence. The subject represents what or whom the sentence is about. In other words, a subject in a sentence performs the verb. It is therefore very easy to identify the subject in a sentence if the verb is identified. For example, in the sentence "moi bhat khalu," in above mentioned sentence, who or what performed the action of khalu is moi. Moi means I performed the action. Therefore, moi is the subject of the verb khalu. As mentioned earlier, Assamese has a flexible word order. For example, it can have moi bhat khalu, which is in SOB order; moi khalu bhat, which is in SBO order; bhat moi khalu in OSB order; khalu moi bhat BSO order; khalu bhat moi VOS order; bhat khalu moi OBS order. So it is seen that SOB is much more frequent than all other orders. In all orders, subject almost precedes the verb. Subjectivity in Assamese. Assamese is a language where identification of the subject is based on case markers. Here we have to know about what is case marker. Simply, case marker is a formal device associated with a noun phrase that signals the grammatical role of that noun phrase. In Assamese language, when the subject performs the action, it is said to be in the nominative case. When a noun, preferably a pronoun, is used as the subject of a verb, it is said to have the occurrence of nominative case in Assamese. For example, in transitive sentence, moi bhat khalu, I ate rice. Here moi is unmarked. To me, bhat khala, you ate rice. And then he bhat khale, he ate rice. In the mentioned sentences, case marker is null, means unmarked, and verb agrees with the subject in person. In first person, it is used as u, in second person as a, and in third person as a. In case of proper noun and common noun, if we look at the following sentences, Loratue bhal kam korile. The boy has done good work. Here boy is marked with a marker. And in Bimane bhal kam korile, Biman has done good work. In this sentence, Biman is marked with marker a. So we can say that in Assamese, pronouns which are the subjects performing the action are in the nominative. Case, and they are unmarked. And in case of common noun and proper noun, Assamese marks the subject with ergative marker a. In the case of intransitive sentences, if we look these sentences, moi jao, I go, which is unmarked. To me, joa, you go. He jai, he goes. Loratu jai, the boy goes. We can say that in Assamese, subject triggers agreement in nominative case. In case of a transitive verb, case ending of the subject is a. The case ending is invariably dropped when the subject is related to an intransitive verb, except when special emphasis is laid upon. This leads to the ergativity. The alternation between e and null case marking in the subject is purely morphological. For example, back to Marilu, I killed the tiger. Back to Marila, you killed the tiger. Back to Marile, the tiger killed. Bimane back to Marile, Biman killed the tiger. In these examples, in pronouns, null case marking the subject as nominative and a in proper noun marking the subject as ergative case. Subject, agent, and patient. In a sentence, agent and patient are semantic terms. Subject and object are syntactic terms. The agent is the one performing the action, and patient receives the action. Let's look at the following agentive subject sentence. Kukurtue Arunabhak kamurile. The dog bit Arunabh. In this sentence, Kukur is the subject or agent and Arunabh is the patient. If we see in case of pronoun, moi Minak Marilu, I killed Mina. In case of common noun and proper noun, in agentive sentence, the subject is marked. with a marker. And in case of pronoun, it is unmarked. If we see in non-agentive subjects in proper noun, he morile, he died, it is unmarked. It was in pronouns he morile, he died, it is unmarked. And in proper noun, Biman morile, Biman died, which is also unmarked. And in common noun, Loratu morile, the boy died, unmarked. Hence, we can say that agentive subjects of proper noun and common noun are marked with a ergative case marker, and non-agentive subjects are unmarked. Here, the animacy plays a role in the ergative, absolutive, and nominative and accusative distinction. Accusative marking is essential when the subjects are animate and marked as first person singular and plural, and second and third person singular. If the subject in a proper noun and second or third person plural inanimate, then it receives ergative case marking. Experiencer subject in Assamese. Experiencer subject constructions are those constructions where the subject of a clause has the thematic role of an experiencer. In Assamese, the experiencer subject are realized with genitive case. It is very rare to see language where the subject carry genitive case. Genitive case is normally assigned to arguments that process something, but in case of experiencer subject in Assamese, genitive case functions directly. For example, Minar bhook lagise, Mina is hungry. In the example, genitive case ro is suffixed to the noun Mina to show her possession over the other noun bhook, which is hungry. In another example, Bimanor bhook lagise, Biman is hungry. Here, Biman, here or is suffixed to the noun Biman to show his possession over the noun book. So subjects are given the genitive case ro or both are genitive case markers in Assamese, where ro is suffixed to the nouns ending with a vowel and or is suffixed to the nouns that end with consonants. To conclude, thus in a nutshell, we can say Assamese is a language.
Marsha, I think you have missed one point. I think one slide is, I think you missed. Yeah, please continue. If the subject is non-experiencer, yeah.
In the example of genitive case, if the subject is non-experiencer, then it is marked with dative case in Assamese. For example, muk bhat lage, I want rice. Bimanok bhat lage, Biman wants rice. So o is suffixed with vowel ending and ok is suffixed with consonants in dative case marking. So to conclude, thus in a nutshell, we can say that Assamese is a language where subjects, where the identification of subjects in Assamese is based on case markers. When a noun, preferably a pronoun, is used as the subject of a verb, it is said to have the occurrence of nominative case in Assamese. In case of common noun and proper noun, Assamese marks the subject with ergative marker a. The subject triggers agreement in Assamese. Pronouns are unmarked and proper noun and common nouns are marked with a. In Assamese, the experiencer subjects are realized with genitive case. If the subject is non-experiencer, then it is marked with dative case in Assamese. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Marsha Saikia, for that very elaborate paper on subjecthood in Assamese. It was a very interesting paper with lots of data, and I'm sure there will be many questions and comments So the paper is now open for discussion. Yeah, please give her suggestions, your comments, your feedback. Borsha
Yeah.
is a student and she is working on this topic for her dissertation.
Borsa,
Yes, sir.
so just go to the second slide, second or fourth slide. Yeah, just no, this okay, yeah.
So this slide.
Yes. So you know that the basic word order of Assamese is SOP, okay?
Sir.
Then you are saying that, however, it has flexible word order, like moi but kalu, right? Then moi kalu but. But I don't know, because this moi kalu but is not much acceptable to the Assamese speaker. Similarly, here kalu moi but, then kalu but moi but kalu moi. Just I'm not quite sure. Okay, except this moi but kalu, and sometimes people may use but moi kalu, that is all OSV, something like. But tell me that moi kalu but it is used. Moi kalu but I think so. I didn't hear anyone use moi kalu but.
But sometimes, sir, it is used.
But it is very rare, and sometimes it
You
may
are
be
a speaker, so you should know, is it acceptable by native speakers?
yes,
Borsha,
that's right. That is the question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
in what context do people use this kind of construction?
But I'm not quite sure, because I didn't hear.
Ma'am, it is
Other,
grammatically.
other Assamese speakers also can comment.
Here this kalu bhat moi. I never heard it. I never heard kalu bhat moi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, other Assamese speakers, do you agree with what Borsha is telling?
Yeah.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
moi
Ma'am, I know
khalu
Kalu
bhat.
bhat moi.
Yeah, it is declarative one. Moi khalu bhat.
No, just kalu bhat moi. It is used. I
It
hear
is. It's used, but in informal way.
Yes. No, sometimes it is it seems it's ungrammatical.
Yeah. It's
People never
informal way.
use this one. Kalu bhat moi. Bhat kalu moi. It is.
Moi khalu bhat is possible, sir, because it is declarative.
I think
Whatever
what they
may be.
sir, what they want to say is that the reason why Borsha is showing this, I think, is to show that the presence of the case marker or the presence of agreement it makes the word order acceptable to be flexible. I think that is what they're trying to say, because whether you say kalu bhat moi, you can still identify the subject. If I say bhat khalu moi, you can still identify the subject because of the agreement that is constantly present. And I think if they are pronouns or common nouns, because they will be the A marker, so it is still identifiable. So I think she needs to give her defense more on why flexible word order. Is it because of case marking, or is it because topic focus is allowed? I think that point is missing here in the
Yeah.
slide.
Okay.
So that could have been.
But no, but
Yes.
no. That is fine. But okay, I want to remove the sentence like however it has flexible word order. And Assamese is not a language is maintained or has flexible word order. You see, we have Japanese, okay. You can consider that, okay, Japanese is, it's having a flexible order, but I don't know.
It is
Indian
possible, sir,
languages are,
because I think even the native speakers here sickly. I think this is our research scholar, right, from this batch. She's saying yes, it is used with intonation. So these are used in spoken form, sir. In literature, it is moi bhat khalu. In the spoken form, all these are used. That is what I think. Because even when I speak in Assamese, when I use Assamese, I sometimes make everything flexible and it is still understood because of the case marking and agreement present there.
Yeah, Mary is also saying that if Assamese is a language with case marking and an anonymity hierarchy, free word order is likely. Yeah. So if the native speaker is native speaker,
you see, okay, we have to, follow the syntactic, some syntactic rules, and okay, and we have, see, when we talk about, okay, this case marking, right? Here, this case marking doesn't do anything here in the word order.
So here it's
Because
agreement playing a role.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, if you say it doesn't work, you have to prove it. You have, if you have enough syntactic evidences, then only, okay, we can, say that yes, Assamese is pure order, or Assamese has, strong flexible order, but it is not there. Okay, you must have the evidences, right? But I don't know, because the speaker, okay, sometimes in informal ways, speaker may be accepting or accepted like, but khalu moi, but it shows clearly ungrammatical. We have never heard, this Assamese people, okay, use, okay, this word in the formal or in spoken form, okay, like this, but khalu moi. It seems very odd.
Sir, if the native speakers agree that they use it, then I think we need to agree with them, because it is used in the spoken form. If Tesam has also said, and who is this sickly, by the way?
No, you see, native speaker, okay, I do agree that, okay, native speaker, okay, maybe saying like this, but see, the case is the younger generation, right? The younger generation have many more problems in regard to structure of the language or in regard to lexical items of the language. Right? So though in case, if any form now, okay, you see, the same thing, okay, happened to my language as well, right? But this is not used by the, competent speaker of, Manipuri, because see, the same construction may be made, and I can say that this construction may be acceptable to society, but it is not. Because if you ask, the competent, speaker, if you ask the older generation, okay, they'll say that, okay, it is not. It's ungrammatical. But my point is that, you see, I just give an example that, okay, I will give an example that this Pandit doesn't know Tiwa language. He was telling that, okay, he doesn't know Tiwa language, though he's Tiwa speaker. He's, Tiwa man. There are some evidences that, okay, so my point is that, okay, you verify with your, elder people, okay, right? See, we use, okay, different languages very casually among my, mates, my friend, etc. But I cannot use, okay, that language. I cannot use that structure with the, older people. So similarly, there must have, some kind of, contracts, right? But in all the way, okay, this, or order, so may not be used in, in all contracts. I mean, formally or in spoken form with the older people. I'm not quite sure. But okay, someone is writing that, here I have seen in the Yes. Here, okay. Native speaker Assamese have said that it is not ungrammatical, right? So that is the question that, okay, how much the competent, how much he or she is competent in his mother tongue? That is the big question, okay, for the present time. And Assamese is a language with case marking and animacy hierarchy. You see, it doesn't mean that, if a language has case marking and animacy hierarchy, so it must have pure order. It is not. Okay, it is wrong explanation. You should read more about the syntax, more about the animacy hierarchy.
Okay, Borsha, take that into consideration and you can discuss with your guide and also with sir. Okay, let us take this discussion in the department later. Are there any more questions or comments or suggestions about this paper? Sorry, we have to cut it short because we are already really running out of time.
Yeah, okay, Bursa, yeah, there was one example, I don't know, I have forget, the hungry one, can you bring to that slide once?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make it quick, we are already hungry.
Yeah, sure, ma'am, yeah. Yeah, we also hungry. My, yeah, okay, so yeah, like you said, yes, this is regarding the glossing, okay. So like in number A and B, Minar, book, lagi, say, so you are glossing all the sounds here, like in the bhavna, lag, e, sa, a. All right, so I do not know whether this you are considering as a morpheme, like e, sa, a. But to me, it's a simple sounds, means they are not means. So can you give some clarification on, is it like as per your glossing means luck is need, e is present, sa is again aspect, then a again existing, and what is tree? Does it mean third person singular?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a lot of informations are there in this lagi say. That is my curiosity. If you can clarify it, that's okay, or else you can check this kind of glossing.
Sure, sir.
Borsha, can you answer that question?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Sir, this sentence is saying that Mina is hungry now. If it is said in past, then it will be Minar book lagi sil.
Lagi sil.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it will be sil, not say, na? But anyway, whatever it is, so you just cross check once with your the glossings. Okay, so morpheme by morpheme, we used to gloss it, but you are glossing at the sound level. So whether
actually Bijan, here lag is need, e is a non-finite form which is calling it as present.
Okay,
and the sa is actually, yeah, sa is actually us. It's the us morpheme which is undergoing this morphophonemics here, as in e us becoming is. So it is the us, or sometimes Assamese linguists gloss it as be verb, sometimes it's auxiliary, sometimes it's existential, and then a is the third person agreement. So that's why she mentioned agglutinative. It is quite agglutinative, but she forgot to mention that it is also fusional, because lagise becomes one word, which is why you were finding it difficult to understand how she has segmented it. It is a fusional language, and it takes agglutination, but it is also taking into agreement. And if you see, lagise is lag e as a, and that is fused as lagise. So it sounds easier when you call it a fusional language rather than an agglutinative language. Borsha, I think you may have to add that somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, we can take a quick one more question or comment and we'll close it. If there are no more questions or comments, once again, we thank Borsha Saikya for that very elaborate topic and presentation. The free word order example is very intriguing, and yeah, you have to really work on it. But it looks like, as the native speakers agree, it looks like if it is grammatical and if it is natural, maybe it is true. So I do not have much to comment. You can consult with your guide and also with the answer. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank both the speakers for the two presentations, Pranjit and Borsha. Especially Borsha, she is just an MA student, but she was able to present it so nicely. Once again, I thank all the speakers for making wonderful presentations in spite of very limited time given to you. I hope you will incorporate the changes or you will incorporate the comments in your presentation or in your papers. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Ma'am Mary, for chairing the second session of today's students' presentation. So it's very encouraging, and it's very fascinating to see even the fourth semester students in a very short notice they come up and at the forefront, and they have agreed to present us, even though it's a very short presentation. So we are very happy to see this kind of zeal to you. So yes, definitely there are certain areas that you all of you need to improve. That's why we are conducting this kind of students presentation program. So hopefully you must be, by this point of time, you must be having a knowledge on what you are supposed to work on, which area on your research. Okay, so there are so many constructive suggestions from the faculty members of the department, from the other alumni members as well. So take all these suggestions and in your future research try to improve your work. So yeah, the last speaker, Borsha, as we have a very good discussion on the possible word order in Assamese. Okay, so Professor Dhiren Singha, what he said was also not right, means not wrong. So please take it and positively and try to see it more on that. Okay, that is all possible in my language as well. Means we can say in this all possible 6 word orders, but when a drunk word, there are certain word orders that only a drunk word or a person with some speech disabled, they can say in that way. Even though those things are set in some particular context, we don't treat them as a a possible, let's say not possible, as a word order. Okay, so yes, I would like to thank again Professor K.S. Dhiren Singha, Dr. Mary Kim Hauke for chairing very smoothly in these 2 sessions of our first day student presentation, and all the paper presenters, namely Zonali, Archana, Ratnajoy, Pranjit, and Borsha, and all the students and research scholars, faculty members of the department, and alumni members. So thank you very much for your kind presence. So with this note, I would like to invite Dr. Samir Dev Burma to propose vote of thanks. Samir, over to you, Samir.
Thank you, Vijay, for giving me this opportunity. So I would like to thank, first of all the presenters for today's program, and I would like to thank chairpersons of this today's program. And it's a good paper we had, and we had discussions also. Yeah. So we'll meet tomorrow. And best wishes for tomorrow's paper also. Thank you once again.
All right, thank you, Samir. So we hope to see you all again tomorrow at 6 p.m. and with the same tempo, we'll meet and we will discuss over the paper that is supposed to present tomorrow. So, and then everyone, thank you once again and good night. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you.